Hello and ni hao, my dear friends. My name is Thomas Geiger and today I'm in Spain presenting to you the new Volvo S90, a big limousine based on the very successful XC90 SUV. And with these cars, the Swedish will prove that they can also build luxury limousines where you can sit in the front and in the back, and you can really arrive in style in front of a theater or a grand hotel. Want to know how that feels? I will show you in a few seconds. The design of the S90 is really something special because there are not many limousines as slim and sleek in the side profile as this big Swedish car, and you hardly can't recognize how long and how big it really is. If you see it from the front, it's quite bold and impressive, and it's got a lot of prestige for overtaking. Its problem is the backside, because I really don't like the way the lights are and the way the trunk is shaped. But that's my personal opinion, and you gotta judge on your own. This is the signature feature of the Volvo design within the LED headlamps. They call it Thor's hammer. Thor was the big Nordic god, and that's the hammer he used to rule over the other gods. A nice feature, perfectly Nordic and very unique, and you really could recognize the car also during nighttime. In their effort to do everything different than the others, even the key is different. It's very slim, and usually you know the buttons are on top. In this case, they're on the side. Very strange indeed. Something I really like about the Volvo is the way its cockpit is looking like, because they're really doing everything different than their main competitors BMW, Mercedes and Audi. The touchscreen is vertical, not horizontal. There are almost no buttons in the cockpit, and even the engine switch is not to push but to turn. The look and feel is totally different, and you're sitting in a different world. That's something really great. You don't have many switches and buttons in the S90 anymore because it's all done by the touchscreen. You put down the aircon with that, you change back to the navigation, and even you zoom like you do on an iPad. That's really cool. One goal of the engineers was to have as less buttons as possible. So even in the steering wheel they changed the regular knobs and balls and push buttons to a sensor field that's working like on a smartphone. That's looking good, that's feeling good, and that's working good. As you know it from the virtual cockpit of Audi and the new E-Class, also in the S90 the instruments are completely digital. That's looking very modern. Something that shows the uniqueness of the S90 is the start button, because usually you have to push it. In this case you have to turn it to get the engine running. It's really quite impressive how much space Volvo got for the back seat in the S90. That's due to the long wheelbase and even more to the slim front seats they are using. So for the backseat passenger, the Volvo S90 is way better than the actual Mercedes E-Class, the Audi A6 or the BMW 5 Series. And that's the regular version. I'm quite sure they're building a long version for you Chinese people as well. And they already showed an interior concept that has a foldable front seat or a removable front seat. And then you have lots of space to stretch your legs, to do your work, or just to relax on the way home. You don't only have much of space in the back seat, you got also lots of comfort. You got the center armrest with a tray to lay down your pencils, with a special place for hidden valuables. You got the 1000 Wilkins sound systems, and even the climate control in the back is with a touch screen and not with buttons. That's something really unique. Another unique thing in the Volvo S90 is the choice of engine that the Swedish people offer. Because while BMW, Audi and Mercedes are still offering 6 and 8 cylinders, Volvo decided not to deliver more than 4 cylinders and 2 liters of displacement. 254 horsepowers in the base model, 320 horsepowers in the top model. Way enough even for a big limousine like that, but not as sovereign, not as luxurious as the big engines from the German competitors. The Swedish guys knows that, and they offer something more. Not more cylinders, but more engines. Because if you'd like to, you can get the S90 as a plug-in hybrid as well. Then the power goes up and the consumption goes down. And the CO2 emissions are as low as 44 grams per kilometer. And the best benefit, you can go above 40 kilometers on pure electric power. That's quite a clever move. If you just cruise along the Autobahn, the 4-cylinder engine is more than enough even for a big vehicle like this. It's gonna get difficult if you like a sporty driving and if you try to accelerate, because in this case the 4-cylinder engine just sounds very loud and you have to force it very much, and it's not that sophisticated driving than you know it from the V6 engines of Mercedes and Audi or the inline sixes of BMW. One of the coolest features of the new Volvo S90 is its pilot assist, something like an autopilot, at least as much autopilot is already allowed until now. You just switch it on with a touch of the button on the steering wheel, and then the car recognizes the lane markings, and when you see the green steering wheel in the cockpit, the car does the work on its own. You just can loosen the steering wheel and the car will follow the course and will go on and will even do curves without you. It's not allowed to take the hands off, or at least not advised. So you still have to be alert, and every few seconds it asks you to grab the wheel again to show that you're still in command. It works now up until 130 kph, so that's quite a bit on the Autobahn. The only thing that doesn't work compared, for example, to the new Mercedes E-Class, the system can't overtake on its own. So if, like in this case, a slower car is in front of me, I got to manually accelerate, set the indicator, pass the car, go back into my lane, and when I'm below 130, the system could be activated again, it's kicking in, and I'm free of my work. Quite impressive, isn't it? The S90 is really the most relaxing car in its segment. You can't imagine going aggressive with it on the left lane, setting the indicator and pushing the other cars forward. That's not the kind of Volvo. It's more a getting down, calming down, slow down your breath, slow down your heart rate, and arrive slowly but very relaxed. You have to like that, but if you're in that kind of meditative driving, that's really the perfect car for you. For my personal taste, this car is too calm and too relaxed, but I don't like IKEA style as well, so it's probably not my perfect vehicle. But I really acknowledge that there's a difference and that now you have a choice compared to the similarity that the German brands offer. Thank you folks for joining me on my first ride with a brand new Volvo S90. A really interesting addition to a segment that's dominated by cars you know for a long time. Other than Mercedes E-Class, Audi A6 or BMW 5 Series, this car has a really fresh approach. Different interior, different engine, different design, so it's a real great alternative. Probably not the best car, but one of the most interesting ones in this segment. So that's why I'm quite sure this car will make its way.